Hello, welcome to Bathroom and Plumbing and Fittings Tutorials. Today I'm going to be showing you how to install a glass panel for a walk-in shower. This is the wall we're going to be placing it on here, and there is the shower tray. It's a 1700 shower tray. We're going to be walking straight in there. Now, the first thing you need to do is take this away from the glass screen when you open the pack. I've already opened the pack, it's so big it's not really going to work in terms of watching it on a video. So first of all, you have this here. Now what's going to happen is the shower screen is actually going to slide into this. This is the bracket, it's going to hold it up. Now it's very important obviously that this goes and places on the wall as a marker first. You're probably going to want to have your pencil ready for this one, which of course I don't at this particular moment in time, but you're going to need your level. Now it's obviously incredibly important that your level is flat and pushed on the edge, because if this initial bracket isn't flat against the wall, then there's no way that your screen is going to be, and it really needs to be straight against it, otherwise the water is not going to run off. The other small details, if we just look at the bottom here, is that the gap between the edge of the shower tray and the edge of the bracket is going to be 10 mil, that is 1 centimetre. Now you'll also notice that I've already siliconed the tray to the tiles before I'm actually going to put this on. It's very, very important. If you do this afterwards, you're not going to create a seal. Water will get in there and it will end up downstairs. So it's very important that this is all sealed first. Okay, the bracket's on and it's sitting perfectly straight. What I'm going to do is I'll take my pencil. You'll see there's little holes on the inside of here. If you just come this way so as we can see that on the camera, you can see the holes. I'm going to mark them with the pencil. Go down there. And the final one just there. So when I take this off here, you'll see that I actually have pencil markings to show me exactly where to drill through. The holes are marked. Well, I say the holes, the pencil marks are on there. That's where we're going to drill through. If you've seen any of my videos before, you'll know exactly what I like to do. If you can see on the end there, we've got a tile, glass cutting, diamond tip drill bit. That's what you want to drill through with. Remember, it's very important to hold it horizontally when you're drilling through. Make sure it's not on hammer action. And so as you save a lot of mess, have the hoover ready. It's going to get very noisy now. I'm going to turn the hoover on and I'm going to start drilling those holes. Okay, so there we have our 4 holes drilled, as you can see, into the wall, and they're going to marry up with the bracket which is here, which as you see, once I lift it up, the holes are all going to align. Now if you've seen any of my videos before, you'll know what I like to do here. I like to take a plug. In this instance, it's going to be a 6mm plug. The plug goes into there and we're going to pop it in. And if you remember, what we're about to do next is we're about to pop a screw in, because at the moment you'll see that that plug is just protruding slightly. We actually want that recessed by a couple of mil. Okay, now the plug's in. I'm going to take my screw, the screw will go onto the plug, and if you just watch when I hit it, it starts to sink in. Now it's not fully in, but it's not fully out either. It's slightly recessed. The reason we do this, if you don't, when the screw is tightened, the plug expands. And if it's too far this side of the tile, then it will crack the face of the tile. What we're going to do, if you just keep that on there, is just before we do anything, very important, it's a shower. If we don't seal this now, then water will get in behind there and get into the wall. Okay, all the 4 holes are drilled. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bracket. Just to make it easier to line up, I'm going to pop that screw through there, just for the first one, and just pop that in. Now, as I've said to you in other videos, really important when you're using a drill driver at this final stage, firstly don't drop it. There's a lot of stuff that can be damaged at this stage. It's important that you've cleaned behind here, because if you don't clean it now, you won't get another chance to clean it. Just wipe it down. There's going to be some grout residue on there. But what I was going to say was, it's very important at this stage that you just feather the throttle, okay? I'm not doing that. I'm going to just gently tease it in. I'm not going to screw it in all the way. Okay, that's leaving a bit of a gap, and it's leaving a bit of adjustment now, that when I do the rest, I can actually move this just to get them all in the correct positions. So I have my 3 screws here. Now all these brackets differ. This one has 4 holes, some have 3. It just really depends what brand you're using. But they're really much of a muchness, and I've rarely seen one differ drastically from another. Okay, now they're all in situ, I can actually start to tighten each one up individually. Okay, and that's done. Now it's really important you don't over tighten those, because what will happen is it'll actually pinch the edges in. This is going to have the piece of glass slid into it, but it needs to be really firmly secured to the wall. You've got to remember this is going to be one sheet of glass on here, and if somebody's in the shower they may well accidentally lean on it or something, so you've got to take that into account. So this needs to be nice and strong, really very important that it's not only does it look nice, but it's firmly fixed and it doesn't leak. And if you follow those rules, you won't go far wrong. Okay, this is the glass screen. You'll see this is the bracket that you saw earlier. That's all in there. I've put an extra bit of silicone in there on the screws. Now what's going to happen is this part of the bracket here is going to sit inside that. Now for obvious reasons we're not going to be able to hold a camera and show you it going in, but suffice to say this is actually going to slot directly into there. If you look at the floor, I've actually put some vinyl down on top. Okay, this is to protect it. It's very, very important. You're dealing with sharp bits of metal and sharp bits of glass. Very easy at this point to damage what you've done. It's also very important when we put this in that we lift it into position and then very carefully lower it down. Otherwise you're going to scratch this lovely tray here. And you know, as I say, probably the most common thing is to damage a bathroom at this stage. You don't want to do that. And it's, if you watch, it's a big, you know, heavy bit of glass. That's taking most of my strength just to lift that up. So it's a 2-man lift to get that in there. Very important that you do that and coordinate yourselves well when you do it. Okay, there's the glass panel. It's set inside. I'm going to walk you closer towards it, and you'll see that the panel is set inside of the bracket. Literally, this has just slid inside there. If you look all the way down, as you'll see, the panel will go all the way along, and you actually just adjust it. You can pull this, make small adjustments so as that has a symmetry. But what we're actually going to do on this particular model is this bar on the outside needs to be secured to the tray, which means we have to drill the tray, which is never something ideally I like to do. But what I'm going to do is with a pencil, I'm going to mark a circle around that, because we're actually going to need to drill a bracket into that section. Okay, we've taken the screen off. You can see where I marked with the pencil. Hopefully you should be able to see. Just trying to sort of focus out. It's not great light in here for this. Now this is there, and I've put a circle mark in the middle, pencil mark in the middle to accommodate this bracket. Now that bracket there is going to slide up inside of the pole. Okay, Now, this is really not something you should be attempting, in all honesty, but I'm going to show you because it's part of the process. So we're going to drill into a shower tray, which is really, you know, getting into the realms of probably a very experienced fitter. You do not want to be drilling holes in shower trays unless you absolutely have to. But I've done it many times before, okay, and you'll see the central mark. It's very important. This drill is not on hammer, as you can see on the settings there. I say as you can see. You probably can't see because of focus, can you? Okay, you do not want it on the hammer setting. It's very, very important, otherwise you're going to shatter this shower tray. Okay, so here we go. Please excuse me if the camera wobbles a bit. And there we go. I'm just going to get the hoover and quickly suck all the debris off there, and then I will show you exactly what we do afterwards. Okay, that's now been cleared up. Once again, I've placed some silicone on there. I'm now going to place that on there, put the screw into position, as you can see, and gently screw that down. Now obviously I cleaned it all up, as you saw beforehand, which is very important. We're now going to place, you can see where that is, and we're now going to place the screen back into position. Okay, on this particular screen, this is quite a strange design, but I really like it because it gives it double strength. If we look at the top here, there's a bar, and that bar rises up to give it extra strength. So once again, I'm going to push that all the way to there, mark it with a pencil as I've already done so, and then fix the bracket in the same way that I did the bottom, directly to the top there. Okay, both those parts are done now, and we're very, very nearly there. The screen is looking pretty strong and secured on there, but you actually have to do something else to give it strength on that back bracket that we installed earlier. And again, it's something ideally you don't really want to be doing at this stage, but you've got to. If you see here, there are 3 holes. 1, 2, and another one at the bottom, 3. Now those are pilot holes, and what actually you need to do is you need to drill, this time with a metal drill bit, through these holes here, and that's how it's going to secure. It's very, very delicate work. You've got to be very careful. Okay, that's done. Now this will obviously need to be done another 2 more times because there are 3 holes. What I've got in my hand here is a screw, a cap, and basically a little washer. Now what we're going to do is, you'll have to excuse me while I just adjust my hands, and I'll show you because I've got to put this down a second. Okay, now the screw goes inside the washer. That's going to go up to the hole. We'll present that to the hole, and again, you're probably much better off using a handheld screwdriver for this, but I've done it a lot of times. That screw is holding the little bracket cap to the shower screen, and we're going to take this little cover here, which is just slightly out of focus. I'm going to pop that over there, and that just basically gives it a nice finish. So now you have 1, 2, and 3 at the bottom. Now it's very important when you're doing a shower screen, any screen, you do not silicone up the inside corner. Okay, what you do is you apply a bead of silicone to the outside. If you can see that particularly well, that's actually a bead of clear silicone. Okay, the reason it's not applied to the inside is we need to allow the water, if it gets trapped in the cavity, to run back into the shower tray.